this over here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just share my screen.
Okay. Before you share your screen, I'll just like to introduce you to all the students who have joined here, so that they have a brief idea. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. So hello everyone and good afternoon. To all the students who have joined today. I am Manan Desai, and I hope everyone had a great spring break. So before we begin our today's session, I would like to thank all the students who have joined today's session. So it's going to be a very informative session about how to publish papers without plagiarism. We have seen a need for the information session about the do's and don'ts of writing, academic writing without plagiarism. And our speaker today for the same is Miss Mahasin Ameen. So on behalf of the DesiJags, I would like to introduce Ms. Mahasin Ameen to all of us present virtually over here. Oh, Ms. Ameen has been associated with IUPUI now for more than 4.5 years. She has been working on many different positions, as an adjunct faculty instructor and visiting lecturer and research librarian. Currently, she is engaged as teaching and learning librarian in her alliance with IUPUI, and she works as an academic librarian working on breaking down stereotypes and barriers with librarianship. Apart from her association with IUPUI, Ms. Ameen has also been the Vice President, Secretary and Marketing Chair for Indiana Writers, right from August 2016 to August 2021. So that's 5 complete years. And in addition to it, Ms. Ameen was also engaged with Audit Public Services Librarian from March 2018 to April 2019, wherein she facilitated the creation of the Indie PL Connect, which is a mobile hotspot and Google Chromebook lending program funded by Grow with Google. Moreover, she has experience and expertise in more than 20 domains, including customer service, community outreach, information library, information literacy, Microsoft Office, etc. So we are very excited to have Ms. Ameen as a speaker today on the topic academic writing without plagiarism. And with this, I would like to request Ms. Ameen to take over and enlighten us on the topic. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So as Manan said, my name is Mahasin Ameen, and I am an academic librarian here at IUPUI. And I'm here to talk to you today about plagiarism. This is targeted towards people who are going to be needing to use APA citations. I highly recommend that if you are a person who needs to use APA citations, we have electronic copies of this book, which is the Publications Manual version, edition 7, which is the most recent version with changes. We have it electronically, so you can actually check it out from the library. But if you ever have a citation question and you can't find the answer to it, you can always email me. My contact information is at the end of my presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I like to remind students is to remember CRAAP when you're doing research. And CRAAP stands for Currency, Relevance, Accuracy, Authority, and Purpose. And the reason I like to talk to students about CRAAP is because, one, it's kind of funny. I mean, it's another word for poop. So, I mean, it's easy for people to remember. So with currency, how recent is the information that you're looking for? Depending on what field you're in, what your major is, it doesn't necessarily need to be very current, but if you're studying something like engineering or health informatics, you want things that are no more than 3 to 5 years old because of how quickly things change. And the R is for relevance. How relevant is the information that you're looking for your research? Is it related, or is it just something that you find interesting and you want to put it into your assignment? For accuracy, can it be traced back to a data table? So if you are in health informatics or engineering, does the math work? Can you go back to a data table? You have to, are the measurements correct? Because if you are needing something to be accurate, you have to make sure that you can trace it back to a legitimate source. The other A stands for authority. Who is the person that is presenting the information to you? Do they have experience in that field? Do they have degrees in that field? Do they have a lived experience that is relevant to what you are talking about? So if somebody has been like a project manager for 15 years and you're asking project management questions, you would probably be better off asking the person who has project management experience than a freshman at the Kelley School of Business. Does that make sense? And finally, the P is for purpose. Why does this information exist on the internet or in general? Like, why does this information exist? Is it here to get you to buy something? Is it to get you to sell something? What is the reason it exists? For me, my purpose today is to help all of you write good, effective papers without committing plagiarism. So when your faculty gives you a research topic or when you're doing research in general, you have to identify your keywords. And these are terms that you're going to be using in databases or in Google when you are looking for information. So this is one of the nursing informatics faculty members' research areas. So it's nursing informatics, specifically tasks analysis, conceptual design of information systems for healthcare providers and consumers. So that's a lot of gobbledygook. What does it actually mean? So when you're doing your actual searching, you would be putting in nursing informatics, tasks analysis, conceptual design, information systems, healthcare providers, and consumers, or consumers in this case. So I always like to remind students about Boolean logic, the and, or, not, asterisk, and phrase searching, and requires that all of these search results be included in your search terms. Or is for when you have one term that can be used for something, but there's also another common term for it. So I like to tell students like Black or African American, because research defines people who are ethnically similar to me as being Black or African American. Not is exclusion criteria. This will get rid of things in your search. This is for when, like, if you're looking for information on geological rocks, you would put in the term rock, but you would also maybe include not music or not the rock, Dwayne the Rock Johnson. An asterisk allows you to search for a word with multiple endings. So think if you're doing technology, you can just do tech and the asterisk and it will give you technology, technologies, technician, anything like that. And then phrase searching. This one is, to me, probably the most important one. If you have a term and you put it in quotation marks, it makes sure that your search results come in with those exact words in that exact spelling in that exact order. Does that make sense? If anyone wants to give me a thumbs up in the chat, if this is all making sense to you. Okay, I've got one thumbs up. Perfect. Okay. So if we did the search for all of those things, you would have a ton of results. And I didn't include the actual search because you all probably know how to Google things. But I'm here to help you narrow down your results. So what years are being covered in your search results? If it's more than 5 years old, you can take those and change the slider for the year and have it be something from 2018. You can limit your search using peer-reviewed criteria. You can limit it by the language that it's in. You can limit it to things that you already have access to through IUPUI. So then you're going to be looking at patterns within your searching to find things that you want to include in your search or things that you don't want to include in your search. Very, very briefly, you can set up search alerts in any EBSCO database. So you would just do your search and then you can click the email alert and it will start emailing you. So if you're doing research on a topic that things are still being published about, instead of having to come in and systematically do your search like every 2 weeks or something, you can have it so that you will get an email notification when something on your topic becomes available. Does that make sense? Is that useful information?
Yes, it makes sense to me. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm actually going to skip this next part because it just goes into looking at databases. Actually, no, I am going to do that for you. Let me put this over here. So this is the university library website. This is where you go to look for information. So if you're looking for an article and you know the title, if you click this one search button, you can type in the name of the article that you're looking for and click advanced search. Nope, that's what I want to do. And click search. Long day. I have spring break brain and I didn't even go anywhere. Okay, so this will find the article for you. So you can literally click this find full text, and it will tell you where you can find this article. But I actually wanted to show you databases. So for databases, you can click on databases, and you can do the database list A to Z, or you can do databases by subject. So you said that your major was engineering. Do we have a mechanical engineering? We don't. Okay, so I'll just click on engineering. And this will show you the number of databases that we have that relate to your topic. And it will list them as your best options, and then all of the options in alphabetical order. If you don't really know where to start, I actually recommend Academic Search Complete. This is a database that has things for all subjects, and it will also give you results for things like PubMed, things that are easily accessible. And so do you want to know my secret to doing research with databases? Do you want to know? Should I let you into my secret?
Yes, please.
So if you are in any EBSCO database, you can actually click choose databases, and you can select any and all of the EBSCO databases that we have to choose from. And this is really good if you are looking for, instead of doing an actual systematic review, like looking in every database all at once, you're able to search across multiple databases in one go. So let's say, let's do, so I am a social work librarian, primarily also informatics. So I'm actually going to click on abstracts in social gerontology, and I'm going to click on some of these APA databases for psychology. You know, I'm just gonna click on all of them. You can do all of them. And this will slow down your search results, but it works really, really well. And so within this Academic Search Complete, the and, or, and not are actually automatically built in. So I'm gonna look for and anxiety and mental health. So as you can see in my search, it automatically gives me these or options. So I'm just gonna select those because it's like, okay, you know what I'm looking for better than I might know what I'm looking for. So I'm going to hit search. And it gives me 29,000 search results, but it's going back from 1912. So I'm going to change that to 2018. And just like that, I'm at 9,000, and I'm going to do linked full text. And I'm going to do scholarly. I want things from peer-reviewed sources. So that takes me down to 3,000. And from this point, you would just start looking at subjects and looking to see what fits your search, what doesn't fit your search, and then you can revise your search terms. So with a showing of hands, how many of you have to do systematic reviews or literature reviews for your program?
Yeah, I sometimes have to do that. Yes.
So this is a way to help you do those a lot more quickly. The thing that's nice about doing it using the EBSCO databases in particular, and you can also do this with ProQuest databases, it automatically filters out duplicates. So if you're doing a systematic review or a literature review, you can already discount duplication, so you don't have to go through that process by hand. It does it for you automatically. So does anyone have any questions so far?
I guess I have no questions so far because it's going very clear and crystal clear, I would say. Yeah, so no questions so far.
Excellent. So now that we've identified the databases that you might use for your search, we're going to talk about turning your research into writing. So when you are using your own words to put another person's idea in your writing, you still have to cite that. So what I'm saying is, if you read a book and this is actually a nonfiction book, I guess that works for what we're doing today. If you're reading a book and you get an idea from the book, you still have to give credit to the original author of this book, which in this case is Aaliyah Bundles, because I'm reading a book about Madam C.J. Walker. So regardless of whether or not you put it into your own words, you still have to give them credit for it. Otherwise, this is plagiarism and you will have faculty members very upset at you. So when you are directly quoting a source, you must cite it and put the quote in quotation marks, and you must include the page number. Again, this is APA citations. So I have the quote, "The market in these low-cost machines is driven by inexpensive bandwidth." And then the citation is Fontana and Montalbano, 2018, and that is from page 12. So we have another version of this, which is Fontana and Montalbano 2018, point out the market for these low-cost machines being driven by inexpensive bandwidth, and then the page that it comes from. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. So for books and ebooks and pretty much everything with APA 7 is you're going to list the last name of the first author with their first initial and their middle initial, the last name of the second author with their first initial and their middle initial, the year it was published, the title of the book goes in italics, and and then finally you list the publishing agency. So last name, first name, middle initial, last name, first initial, middle initial, title is in italics. And if the book includes a DOI, which is a direct object identifier, you must include the DOI in the reference after the publisher's name. So do you all know what a DOI is?
No, I'm not aware about DOI.
Okay, so the DOI is the direct object identifier. That is where the article lives on the internet forever. If you are looking at something in an academic database, it'll be listed. Actually, hold on, I still have, let me go back really quick to this. So if I click on this article here, there is this DOI right here, and this is where this article lives on the internet. So if you were to click on this, it will take you to the abstract of the article where it lives. This doesn't mean you have access to the full text of it, but this is where this article will live forever. If you are doing something health related, if you want something from PubMed, that is off. They have something very similar. So they have a DOI listed, but you also might see a PMID, and that's the same thing as a DOI. It's just that's the medical version of a DOI, and you can use either in your works cited page. Does that make sense to everyone? Hopefully. It's basically the URL, but the forever URL.
Right. Yeah, it does make sense, right? And it is something new which I got to know. I mean, apart from all the things, they were also completely new, but this is something in addition to that. Yeah.
Yes, and so sometimes if you are looking at a DOI, so if you want, you might want to hit this cite option here, which is perfectly acceptable, and select your APA citation. But you want to make sure that you have one that has the DOI. And sometimes they'll have it listed, but they'll have all of this search EBSCO host, blah, 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 blah. That is not a proper DOI, even if it has like DOI in the name. That limits it to only people that are on IUPUI's campus can access the link. And even then, sometimes it doesn't work. So you want to very easily just click on the actual article. And generally the DOI is also listed in the actual article as well up top. Usually it's the top left corner. That's the DOI that you want to copy. That's the web address that you would want to copy. Does that make sense, everyone?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let's go back to this. Of course, it doesn't remember where it was. So again, this is just an example of what you would do for an ebook or a physical book. It doesn't matter. If it's the entire book, you do not need to include page numbers in the citation unless you are doing it from like a chapter in a book, like the second example. This actually should have page numbers if they are available. But this second one down here is one that I like to include because it is a chapter of a book, but the book has different authors. So in this example, we have Short Life EH and Blois MS, published in 2014. The article title does not go into italics, but the book title, the Biomedical Informatics, Computer Applications in Healthcare and Biomedicine, 4th edition, does go into italics. Also on your works cited pages, you should be indenting. Anything that's after the first line gets a nice little tab at the beginning of it. So the same thing is for articles, journal articles, or electronic websites. If they have a DOI included, again, this example has 3 authors, but again, you list the title of the author, the title of the periodical, the volume, the issue number, the pages, and the DOI. If there is not a DOI and there is a URL, provide the URL. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so for web pages and governments, so you do the author if available. So in this case, the author is Hackensack with the first initial J and the year. You do the title of the document and the URL. And that does not have to be a DOI. Oftentimes websites do not have DOIs. And then from a government website, oftentimes those will not have the who actually wrote the article listed. In that case, you would just put the agency. So in this case, the Center for Disease Control. The article does not have a date associated with it. So it's just ND, no date. And then challenges in food safety, and then the URL. So as we move further into the modern age of life, you can actually cite videos, you can cite tweets, you can cite podcasts, you can cite TED Talks, you can cite pretty much anything. You can cite this presentation. It counts as something that is citationable. So for videos, you do the person or group who uploaded the video. That person is credited as the author, even if they did not create the work. The title of the article is written in italics. And then, so it's the last name of the person or group or the name of the agency that updated the video. The title of the video was the date the video was uploaded, in parentheses, the title of the video, that it's a video, where you got the video. So if you got it from the TED Talk website, you would put, TED Talk, and then you put the URL for the video. So for this one, it is Colson C, 2017, April 14th. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be HRM. The HER Chapter 1 lecture, Introduction to Health Records, video, YouTube, and then the YouTube URL. So you can use citation management tools. I like them. You can use EndNote, you can use Mendeley, Zotero, Teams. They're all available for you to use. And then here is my contact information. You can always email me at mameen@iupui.edu. This is my office phone number here. You can also, if you go to the library website, you can click on instruction and go to subject librarians. And every one of you has a library liaison that is assigned to your school or department, regardless of your major. So you are an engineering major, so you're, actually, I think there's specifically mechanical engineering here. So your library liaison is Randall Haverston. Have you met Randall?
No, I have not met yet, but I now, since I know this, I'll just try to meet once, and I'll try to sort out a few issues if I have anything like during the plagiarism session, or anything which I want to add on to my research papers, because we do have projects and we are expected to write some papers. That is not we are not essentially going to publish the papers, but just for the sake of project, and yeah, so we can
You're not
on
publishing
that.
them yet.
Yeah, we are not publishing it yet, and we are not required to publish it yet because I'm not opted for a thesis course anyways. But yeah, we do have to write a paper, and we have to submit the paper to the professor.
Yeah, so every one of you has a library liaison. You can scroll down until you find my name or their name. I will actually click on Randall's because it's the exact same as mine. So we all have our own little pages. It has a picture of us that we got to pick. You can email us. He's offline currently. You can actually click this schedule an appointment, and you can tell him what you like it will have his availability listed. You can pick your date, you can pick your time. You can actually, schedule whether or not you just have like a general research question, an in-depth research consultation, or a group consultation, which he has set for hours. But yeah, so I can talk to you about some of the common errors that I see students doing. The biggest one I see is that students don't use quotation marks when they are citing things. So they will use the source word for word, and they'll put the author's last name and the year in parentheses, but that's not enough. So if you're using a direct quote, it has to go within quotation marks, also known as double quotes. I've heard a lot of students refer to them as that. The other issue I've seen is people forgetting to include page numbers. So if you are using a direct or indirect citation, you do need to include the page numbers that it is from, as well as the author's last name or the agency name that you are quoting that from. One issue that I see a lot of is students will include a direct quote, but because they didn't download the PDF of the article, they don't have the page number. So it's important for all of you to remember to download the PDF version of the article that you're going to be citing so that you can properly record the page number. And if it's like a website and there aren't page numbers, you can cite a paragraph that you got your information from. It kind of depends on what your faculty's preference is. I like to tell students to err on the side of your faculty member caring very much what paragraph you got it from. But if it's like 30 paragraphs on a web page, don't worry about it. I can also answer any general citation questions you have. I didn't go into some of the more, I guess, departmental stuff. So some of the work that I do is showing students how to cite like Indiana state laws or codes or legislation. But yeah, I can open it up to questions now.
Yeah, so if anyone has any questions, please feel free to either ask directly or type in the chat. I mean, I have a question. So I have a question. I mean, if sometimes, say, for example, if someone is not, citing properly, or is being literally caught in the case of plagiarism. So what are the consequences which can be taken against that particular student or group of students?
Okay, yes. So the consequences for plagiarism. So the first time you did it, you get an academic misconduct form that your faculty member fills out. You have to sign it, and that goes into a file. The second time you commit plagiarism, you can face departmental consequences. You can face failing the course, and you can face expulsion for plagiarism as well. So if you get an academic misconduct form, you can appeal it if you think that it was given to you unfairly. And if you do think that it was given to you unfairly, I do recommend that you appeal the academic misconduct form.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So if anyone else have any questions, they can directly ask or put in the chat, and Ms. Ameen will answer the questions.
I mean, the thing to remember about the library is that we are here for student success. So, we offer a variety of ways to talk with us. We actually have a chat reference service. So you can actually just go to your computer and ask us like a quick question. You can email us. We can do phone calls, any type of way that you want your instruction. Like I have done so many Zoom sessions.
Right.
And you can book a one-on-one session with me or your subject librarian to help you go into things.
Right. Yeah, that sounds cool. I mean, yeah, I have a paper. I mean, we have written something, I think it's a good idea that, I'll discuss this thing with my group mates as well, and we'll just, send you an email regarding that paper. It's not a big paper, it's around 3 to 4 pages. Whenever you are available, you can just, go through it and give us the feedback. I mean, we have tried to, properly cite everything, and most of the stuff written it's already written by ourselves. I mean, the unique content which we say. Yeah, so still, I think it's a good idea to send you once the paper and have your feedback on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can definitely just email that to me and I can take a look at it. I mean, it's mechanical engineering, so I'm not gonna be able to tell you content-wise how it is,
Yeah.
but I can tell you if you are citing things correctly.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because I mean, this is what I do. This is what I got my degree in. It's doing research and instructing other people on how to properly do research and how to properly cite the research. Because I don't want anyone to get expelled for committing an unintentional act of plagiarism.
Right.
Like,
So
and I
did
don't
you
want any of you
graduate
having
from
to do class.
IUPUI, or did you graduate
Yeah.
from IUPUI itself?
Yes, I got my undergraduate degree from IUPUI and my master's from IUPUI.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
So I went to the School of Informatics. Sorry, no, my undergraduate is from the O'Neill School of Public and Environmental Affairs, where I majored in public management. I was gonna go to law school, but that did not work out. I ended up not. 2008 happened, and a lot of my friends who were practicing attorneys stopped practicing law then, and so I was like, that's not a good idea. So I decided to become a librarian, and I love what I do. Yeah.
And I mean, we are really very thankful for you, so that you really helped us, and it was a very informative session for all of us. I mean, I'm sure that all of us have gained something from this which we have never known before. And I guess there's no questions anymore, because probably the session was actually very clear, and I don't think so that anyone is going to have any questions further over here at this point of time. But I believe that people will have questions when they actually try to implement the things which they have learned today, and they might contact you directly via email, or they might directly just call you on your office number or anything. Absolutely. Feel free to reach out, even if you're not informatics or social work. I'm here to help you. Yeah. So, but thank you all for giving me this bit of your time. And if you have questions, just send me an email. Right. Yeah. And once again, I would like to thank you on behalf of DesiJags, the Student Association. And we just hope to meet you in person someday and have an in-person session, probably about the same plagiarism again, with more number of students present in class. And then we can also, if you are okay with it, if you are available sometime. Absolutely. Right? You want, we can I can reserve one of the classrooms in the library and do a research with me lesson. Right. Yeah. That would be great. Yeah, that would be great. So we'll just discuss this thing out in this association first. We'll try to figure out a day when more number of people can attend, and everyone can match their calendar exactly on the same day. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. So once again, and thank you for all the information you shared today. It was really very informative for all of us. Excellent. You all have a great rest of your day. Yeah, you too. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.